kama umemchagua mtu anaweza badilika, but not because of you, if they choose to change. But don't choose somebody the way they are, then you start complaining that they are not changing. There are many ladies in the church, wengine hata wanaenda Shakahola kuombea mume wake mwenye anakunywa pombe, na ulimuoa akiwa hivyo, but you married them drinking. Si kwa ubaya, we have all made mistakes. That's what I'm just trying to help us realize. Instead of praying for other things like world hunger, pray for orphans, things like those. Sasa the person who married them like that, their parents were not able to change them, and at that time God didn't even change them because they had not opened their heart. Then you think that you're the one who's going to change them. How? Sometimes we waste prayers, and then we are not praying for our children, we are praying for somebody who met them like that. They can change, but then why do we think that our love is going to make them change if the love of Christ had not made them change? So please, the things of you're marrying a potential, please stop it. Someone said that men want a woman who does not exist, women want a man who has not arrived. Men want a woman who does not exist, because many men will keep on telling you, our grandmother, our mother used to do this, do that. Then the lady will marry a man who has not arrived, because they are trying to say, angebadilika tu hivi kidogo, maisha yetu ilikuwa mzuri sana. Kama tu bwanangu tu angejaribu tu kidogo. And they keep on hoping and hoping and hoping until the end of time, hoping that the person will arrive. So the person you married, that is a person you have, and 70% of marriage problems will not be resolved. Did you hear what I said? According to research, 70% of problems in marriage will not be resolved. So it means it's the same things. You realize it's the same things you've been complaining about. You may need to accept them. I'm not talking about infidelity or abuse. That's not what I'm saying. So mtu asiseme that nilisema if your partner anakuchapa ama ako unfaithful kubali. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about other problems. Maybe you want them to wake up early. There's something you want them to do. Now, haibadiliki. It's better that you accept and you focus on other things that can help you, okay, or other things that can change. So I'm just trying to share, I was sharing the phases that we go through. So that is the part of as a single person. Now, some of us could be newly married. So you get married, the first phase of 0 to 3 years. This one, normally people are still very much in love. Utaona hata wakikuja kanisa wanakaa pamoja. Hata mmoja akiserve chakula hawezi kula kama hajaona ule mwingine ako wapi. Atakwambia my husband, my wife ako wapi, and even when they are speaking they keep introducing, my wife, my beloved, my what, which is okay because that is the romantic phase. Na hiyo ni kawaida. The problem is if it extends, or if people hope that it's going to extend. Sometimes people keep saying, turudi vile tulikuwa newly married. Hamwezi rudi vile mlikuwa newly married. Mukirudi kule hamtatunza watoto, hata hamtafanya kazi. You will not work, you will not take care of children. Okay, imagine kama ningekuwa hiyo phase. Sasa hii unafikiria ningekuja Makambi? Niache mzee wiki mzima, na ile wiki nyingine nilikuwa Kigali, singekuja. But now because tumepita hiyo phase, I can come for come meeting. So you remember even in the Bible they used to be told when you are a man who is newly married, you don't go to war, isn't it? So unakaa na bibi yako because they knew that there is that phase. So just know that it's a season, and season lasts forever. And we normally advise people that if you are getting married the early years 0 to 3, if possible, delay getting a child. If possible, do not get a child immediately, because a child changes your marriage completely. The woman who wants to give birth and the one who comes out, they are very different. That's not the same person. Ukiona mama ameenda mjamzito, ameenda kujifungua, na ule amerudi na mtoto, ni tofauti sana. Mwenye ameenda kujifungua alishakufa, na mwingine amekuja. Because the process of childbirth, it's a very traumatic process, and a lot of chemicals are released. One of them is a chemical called oxytocin that causes bonding. The mother feels a very strong connection to the child. There is no connection that is felt on this earth other than the connection between a mother and a child. Hata mama anaangalia mtoto wake tu anaanza kulia because it's very overwhelming. You don't know, you never love someone so deeply like that. Okay, so many times, you know, when I hear men saying that mtoto amekuja, now she doesn't even care about me, it's about the child. Where's Shinda? You cannot compete with a child. The love between a mother and a child. You can't. You cannot, because the mother feels a very strong attraction. The best way, help her to take care of that child. That is when it can help. But competing, saying, weka mtoto kando, that cannot happen because it's not natural. Okay? The same way that even as a married lady, you cannot start telling your husband to choose you between you and the mother. You can't. You know who you will choose. You will choose the mother. Because you can never have an ex-mother, but you can have an ex-wife. Does it mean that there is no competition between a mother and between you and your mother-in-law? There should not be a competition because the relationship is different. But you help him take care of his aging mother. That's how you earn his love. You help him take care of his mother. But you don't start saying, ukanunulia mamako nguo na mimi hujaninunulia. No, you say, can you buy for mommy a dress? By then you bought for me. We also need to buy for your mother a dress. That's how you earn the love. Because the connection between a child and the mother is so strong, you cannot compete with it. You ask them to choose, you know you will never be chosen. It cannot happen. If they pretend to choose you, not for long. Okay, but I'm not talking about the mother-in-laws who come to interfere, not the wicked ones. I'm just talking about a normal mother-in-law. You know, there are some wicked ones, but I'm just talking about a normal mother, you know, a normal mother who is taking good care of their family, their business. That's what I'm talking about. So the connection. So knowing that, then it will make sense if you tell young people who have been married, because you need time to learn each other. Take time, get to learn each other. Get to know what excites your partner, what makes them sad, and then look for financial resources, look for money. I'm telling you, in this country, you will go to give birth and you will die. You will die. When you don't have the money, you will die. You know, there is someone I know who the wife was giving birth to a child. They had other children, so she was getting a child and he didn't have money. So what he did, he tried to call people because he had lost his job. He tried to call people to assist. The person belonged to a church. Imagine people refused to pick his call because walikuwa wamechukua. Unajua ule mtu anakupigia na kila siku anakupigia asubuhi, unajua ni pesa anakuomba. Unafika mahali unaacha kuchukua simu. So imagine he was calling members on Sunday morning. This person was a pastor. Wanapigia washiriki Sunday asubuhi, wanakataa kuchukua. Wengine hata walikuwa wamemsave kama Pastor Sumbua, so hawachukui simu. Wengine wamemsave kama battery low, so wanajua ikilia hivyo battery low, simu inapelekwa kwenda kuwekwa kwa charger, yani so that they don't pick his calls. You know, sometimes your phone can ring, alafu watoto wako wanakuchukulia wanakuletea ndio hii, but ukisave battery low, watoto wanaona kama battery iko low, wanapeleka kucharge. It was that bad. Imagine this person, sasa ana struggle hapo, hana pesa. The wife is giving birth to a child, they have other young children, hana kazi, the wife was not working. By the time things got so out of hand, he rushed her to the nearest government hospital. He arrived, it was too late. She died, left him with young children and the newborn. Hana kazi na foreign country. Hana kazi na slum area. Utafanya nini? What will you do? So I am telling you, in this country particularly, I work in a hospital. I've seen people die at childbirth because of lack of money. Nothing else. Lack of money. They don't have money to rush to an emergency. Some even have to go to a hospital where there's no blood. There are no specialists. So they're having a complication. I think you've seen in the media, but they cannot afford, so they die. So I think it's important for us to be very honest with ourselves. and just say, are we in a position? I told you that the wedding is easy, the building the house is easy. Living with a husband and a wife and even raising a child, that is a problem. Imagine raising a child is like buying an entire house. Did you know that? Ukiwa na mtoto umlee hadi amalize shule, university ama college, ungenunua nyumba na hiyo pesa. So imagine kama mimi niko na wanne, nyumba 4 homes, just like that. So if you cannot afford a house, do you think you should get a child? Think about it. Just think about it. Think about what it means. And I know we hope for the best, but I want to tell you sometimes even the worst happens. Even in the Bible, we have stories of people who died at childbirth. Rachel died at childbirth. You see, we have all that. So just be aware that I need to be able to at least take care of the child that is coming. Now, this is 0 to 3. We said, hapo bado kuna romance, people want to be close together. Now let's go to another stage that is called the 7-year itch. 7 to 10 years. If you look, most people divorce around this time. By the time they are 7 years in marriage, it's normal for people to regret. You even ask, did I make the right choice? Ama ningefikiria kwanza. Some people even start looking for their exes. Unaanza kutafuta ule ex alienda wapi, na kuangalia maisha ya ex. Unaanza you start wondering, ama I could have been better with the ex. Hiyo inakaa familia, tunajua hiyo experience. So but the point is that don't initiate conversation with your ex, because you will be deceived to think that they are doing better. But again, it's too late. You're already married. It's better. You know the way they say in Swahili, usiache mbachao kwa mswala upitao. Isn't it? So you begin regretting, you begin wondering. And if you are not wise, you will end your marriage on a temporary season. It's a temporary season. So you will end a marriage because of a temporary season, because you are in a stage where everybody normally goes through that stage. Okay? So you need to focus on the character. That's why as much as you choose somebody who looks good to you, you also need to choose someone with character. Because the looks and whatever and the feelings can only take you maximum 3 years. Beyond there, you have to look at the character. You know, sometimes when I ask people, what is it that you like about this person? They have nothing to say. The men just tell me she's beautiful, I like her smile, she dresses very smartly. So I wonder if this person, anything happened ako kwa wheelchair na hawezi kudress, utampenda kweli? And then the ladies will say the way he treats me well. If he's not able to treat you that well, something can happen. What's going to happen? So if you pick somebody who has character, you can actually keep looking at the character. You say, hata kama huyu mtu ananikasirisha, ananibo, nikiangalia vile anakaa na watoto wake, naona si mbaya sana. You know, you can say that when you say, ananikasirisha nikimwangalia vile anatafuna chakula. By the way, tuseme tu ukweli, sometimes you have looked at your spouse vile anatafuna chakula, unasikia anakugaragaria. Ladies normally say this a lot. Ladies easily get irritated. Unamwangalia unaona amekuirritate na si kitu mbaya amefanya. But you see, if the person has character, you know, if the person has character, you can just remind yourself, you say, but you know he's hardworking. But you know she's a good mother to the children. I like the way she's relating with the children. You know, something like that. So if there is no character, most marriages will end by 7 years. If there is no character, because now hakuna feelings, mtu ameanza kutafuta ex. Nowadays kwanza the internet haitusaidii, because you can easily send a friend request. Na unaona vile anajipost, and unaona they are doing well. And you know nowadays people even go to Ole Sereni, anapigiwa picha pale nje ya Ole Sereni next to somebody's car. Wewe unaangalia unasema huyu anadai Ole Sereni na alienda tu. Unasema I left somebody who is dining in Ole Sereni na mimi napelekwa Kibandaski. Na kuna gari unaona ni German machine, kumbe ni ya mtu. Amepigwa tu hapo next. then you end up thinking I settled for less. Then you end up unavuruga ndoa yako because of things that are temporary. So now at this point you need to focus on the character of the person, and also know that you're also not perfect. You also have stretch marks. You're not perfect. Even then, if they were to look at your weaknesses, watazileta mezani pia zitaangaliwa. And do not initiate any conversation with your ex. There is a reason as to why they are ex. You remember when we studied mathematics, they used to say find the value of x. That was the most difficult question. We didn't like that. Unasema sasa x tuliachana na tena I find the value of x. X has no value to me. So please do not try finding the value of x. Let x be x. Let x treat x the way you treat your ancestors. Let them rest until the resurrection morning. Usiende kutafuta x. And then usianze kufanya urafiki na people of the opposite gender. If you had friends before you got married, sasa tena friends of the opposite gender, your spouse knew them. Usianze tena kupata friends wengine of the opposite gender. Ati mnaongea tu, mnafanya biashara pamoja, mnaongea investment. You know that's how people get into infidelity. Unaona somebody, you admire them. They look like they have a good work ethic. Unaangalia your spouse, unaona ni malenge hivi. So unajiambia hii malenge wacha tu ikae juu tuko na watoto, but I think nikiangalia huyu atanisaidia na business ideas. Lo and behold, unajipata you are involved in an affair, because now you begin going into more and more business transactions. Now you start wondering what else can you transact. You start transacting body fluids. So you get into an affair. So please just know when you're going through the season, you have to keep off and be like Caesar's wife. Your character needs to be above reproach. Okay? Don't even start sending messages. Ama unasema if you're a man, then you are telling ladies you are so smart today, and this lady is starving. The husband has never told her she looks smart. That time she's walking on the air the whole day. Next week she will dress better. Hata ataenda anunue nguo mpya na apite kando yako so that you will say she is smart. You see that kind of thing? Or as a lady you start telling a man, hey, your wife must be so lucky. You're such a great man. And the wife has never appreciated. She's just always complaining. So finally somebody has seen me. Next time he wants to impress you. Before you realize, one thing leads to another. So it's important for us to keep our boundaries when we are at this stage. Now let me talk about another stage, 13 to 17 years. When now we have raised young children. No, let me go back to the 7 year. What makes it more difficult? The 7 to 10 years. Usually you find that couples have young children. Let me go back a bit. They have young children, 0 to 5. Young children are it's a lot of work. It's very exhausting to raise young children. Mara one is sick, another time the house help ameenda. I don't know what is happening. It is very exhausting. And by the way, that's why I said that any mother raising a young child, she has another job. She will always be tired. Akisema amechoka ni ukweli. You know, I've just read today a story of a lady in the US. She had 3 young children. 2 are special needs, then 1 is a younger one. And she's working 8 hours a day in the US. You know, they don't have domestic workers. So in the morning, she'd wake up, prepare the children, take them to daycare, then go to work. So this particular morning, she went with the children, she parked her car. Normally, she would take the special needs ones too, then comes for the younger one. So she comes, she's so exhausted, she has woken up early, takes the one special needs child. You know, they can be very heavy and stiff. She comes, picks another one, puts them there. She's so mentally exhausted. The young baby is sleeping. She forgets. She drives to work. She goes, parks her car, continues working. The child has been locked in the car. It's there on the internet today. She's working. About 6 hours later, a colleague is passing at the parking. Anaona mtoto pale kwa gari. Akaenda akamuuliza, did you leave your baby in the car? Oh my God, she's coming at 2 p.m. The child is dead in the car. She got arrested, but later now, the police have realized that this mother was exhausted. She was being charged for second-degree murder for murdering her infant. But they realized the mother was mentally, physically exhausted, taking care of two special needs children, an infant, working 8 hours a day. She mentally got exhausted and forgot. You know you can forget. And I know some people can hear this, they say, she's so irresponsible. I'm telling you, there's a time I forgot my last born child. I had given birth to my last born child, had 3 other children. So I'm seated in the house, I sincerely forgot he was asleep. So some friends came to visit. Niko maternity leave. Then they told me tumekuja kuona mtoto. Nauliza mtoto mgani? Which child? Imagine I'm asking them, which child are you talking about? They said, your baby. I said, my baby? You didn't get a baby? Then that's when I remembered I actually got a child. I forgot, but the baby was in the bed. Sometimes some mothers remember when the child has cried. That's when they remember, oops, I had a child. But imagine in Africa we have support. What about for them who don't have support? So it's very exhausting when you're raising an under 5 and you're going through that season of marriage. You can end up saying this marriage is not working. One young man told us when I was in Kigali the other week, we were talking about this. Then he said they have been married I think for 5 years and they have 3 children. One is 3 years, another one is 2, another one is 1 year. 3 years, 2 and 1. Him and the wife, they don't have anybody else. They're the ones who are taking care of the children. So he was telling us, he was sharing his testimonies from West Africa, and he's a very hands-on father. He said that someone had advised to them to take time before getting the first child, and that's what they did. They took 2 years, so they got to learn each other. Maybe 1.5 years, they got to learn each other. Now he was telling us, since they have those young children, he can count. This year he can count the number of times he has been intimate with the wife. He can count for this year. He can count with 1 hand. This year it has been like 3 times. He can count with 1 hand. And he said that if he had not spent time with the wife to understand each other, he could have been feeling so bitter that why is this happening? But he said by the time they get to bed, they are just too exhausted. 3 children under 3 years. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying that when children begin coming, they are a blessing, but they can worsen the situation in the marriage. Children are not and do not solve or make a marriage easier. In fact, they complicate a marriage. So if there's anything that needs to be addressed, don't say nikizaa mtoto tutafocus on kulea mtoto, shida zitaisha. Zitaongezeka. They will come with their children and grandchildren. So it's better you just address whatever issues you're having when you are the 2 of you. So let me go to the 13 to 17. Here now people are raising teenagers. Teenagers can break a marriage. You can blame each other. Because unaona mtoto, they are rebelling, which is normal for teenagers. They are acting like normal teenagers, but then you can actually begin blaming each other. And when your children are teenagers, most likely you have parents who are sick. So you need to take care of your sick parents. You need to take care of your parents now, send them money. Then the teenagers want money, the parents want money. So you are in the middle. You can end up feeling angry at your spouse because you feel they are the cause of your problems. So you need to ensure that when you're parenting teenagers, don't form an alliance with your child. Don't form an alliance with your child that disadvantages the other parent. Mothers are very good at that. They can form a coalition with the child and the father is disadvantaged. I want to tell you as a mother, I know it's easy to do that. But if you do that, you are sharpening spears for yourself. Your child will become a weapon formed against you because you have formed a coalition and then you are now against the other parent. They won't have a good relationship with the other parent. Over time, that is a weapon formed against you. So by all means, unless the other parent is abusive to the child, you need to try, because children can also weaponize you. See, they will come to you, they say, daddy is like this, mommy is like this, you're the only one who understands me, do this. Send the child back to their parent. For me, when I'm walking away, my son, sometimes they send me messages. They're asking me for things, and I'm asking them, but your dad is there with you. Where is your dad? They say he's just here. But why don't you ask him? They say, we're asking you because you respond faster. I say, that's fine, I know that, but for now I'm away, please talk to your dad. That way, I'm also trying to create that relationship so that they can talk. What I tell them, you wait, it's not an emergency. When I come back, Daddy and I will speak, then we'll give it to you. You see, so it's important to keep on pushing and encouraging them to have that relationship. Don't say that, it's because he doesn't even talk, he's not understanding, because you want to look like you're good. You're the one who's the better parent. Eventually, that child becomes a weapon, okay? And if it's about taking care of your parents, parents need to be taken care of by their biological children. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the responsibility of biological children to take care of their parents. So a man should not marry a wife for the mother. That I married my wife so that she can go home and take care of my elderly mother. No, your elderly mother should be taken care of by her children. They can always make an arrangement. As a girl child in a home, don't expect your husband to be the one sending money for your mother's medical care. He can send. If he does, you need to accept it with thanksgiving and gratitude. But that's not his role. Parents are taken care of by their biological children. The other ones can take care of them as a sign of gratitude and love, but it's not their responsibility to do it. I know a family whereby their last born son was married. The others were also married and they were living in town. And they kept on pushing the wife to the last born son to go back to the village and take care of their mother. They kept on telling her, unafanya nini Nairobi? Enda ushago ulee mama. Then they are in Nairobi with their spouses. But they want the last born son, the wife, they are the youngest. Wao waache familia waende kutunza mama. They kept on pushing her to do that. They kept on pushing her. Eventually she went. Now she was very bitter. And because she went, it was a young family. They were not together for a long time. Now they are divorced. The mother died after some time. Now they are divorced because there was a rift that happened when the husband was in Nairobi. She was up country. He even started having an affair with someone else. Then later she also started having an affair. The marriage is now, they're now divorced, but the older siblings are in their families, okay? So people can always make an arrangement of how their elderly parents can be raised, but the burden should not be on a daughter-in-law who has been married in that home to take care of the aging parents, okay? Now, midlife crisis occurs around here. Later on, we may want to talk about menopause and andropause. That's another topic. But midlife can also cause challenges because now people are seeing retirement is coming. Maybe they have not invested. They start blaming the spouse they married. He's the reason why we are still in a rental house. If this woman was wise, we could have invested. I'm seeing my colleagues who had the same job, their wives were wise, they have invested. I married a foolish woman. That's why we are still in rental. And the woman is saying, I chose wrong. I should have chosen a man who knows how to mobilize resources. That's why we are here. Then you start blaming each other. And their needs, the children have needs, your parents have needs, then it becomes very stressful. And it's not unusual to see people divorcing in midlife. People get divorced and you're wondering, this is the age where they needed to be enjoying their retirement. Let me go to another stage. Now, when people have been married 20 years and above, they can have a stable marriage at that point because they have come to understand one another, but also they will be having empty nest syndrome. Now the children have left. And some of them who didn't have a close relationship, the women ran away to take care of their grandchildren. And they leave them there alone in the village, being eaten by jiggers. Because some of them hungry, akona njaa, anaishi nyumba mzuri, but akona jiggers. Because he has no one to take care of him. And many of the women, it's because of historical injustices. When I gave birth to my last born, nakumbuka, aliniacha njaa, akaenda. So they remember some of those things. It's important to forgive each other. If you have some of those things, turn to each other for support so that you can support each other, take care of one another. If there's any area of unforgiveness, talk about it and forgive each other. if you have adult children who are over 20, encourage them to be independent and to take care of themselves. Because when adult children depend on you, it becomes very difficult to support your adult children with your retirement. Okay? The last one I want to say is, in case, let me say one thing. If you have grandchildren, please let your adult children take care of their children. Grandchildren are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to use your retirement to take care of yourself and enjoy, and use it for your medical cover is very expensive. Okay, if now the last thing I want to say, then I'll take your questions. You may go through adversity, maybe illness, maybe childlessness, maybe loss of a job, maybe you may lose parents, so you're going through grief. If you go through periods like that, you need to work as a team. Be a team united against the challenge that you are going through. If you work, as we said about mental illness, if you say this is your problem, you know you will not defeat that challenge. But if you work together, even if you know that you're having the challenge because it's the fault of your spouse, don't blame them. You may not be having a child and you know it's the fault of your spouse. Maybe there's something they did. Maybe your spouse may be sick and you know they made wrong choices. Don't blame them, support them. They're already struggling as it is. Let me pause here. I can see we have 12 minutes. Is there any question or any comment? Anything you want to ask or say? Yes, Pastor. Can you give Pastor a mic?
Children now back here where we are, they have entered the same status that when we when we marry each other, we can stay for 2 years and see whether we are capable. The way you put it, I agree with you. But my question is, why 2 years? Why 3 years that they are trying to run to know each other before they get a baby? I need your assistance there on a psychological way of doing things, because as pastors we are asking them, if today tumeunganisha the happiness of your parents, the happiness of parents is to see their grandchildren. That's what we always say. But now I'm worried with those who agree to stay together for more than 2 years that they are trying to run each other. For what?
Because also marriage is for pleasure. You also want to have pleasure in marriage. Yes. What period? So people need to agree. And also we tell people, if you are going to use any contraceptive method, you need to be aware that it can cause infertility. Yeah, so if you're going to use any method, any chemical method to delay childbirth, be aware that it can cause infertility. So we say naturally delaying, okay? Now the other thing also is this. I've seen cases whereby people chose not to delay getting a child. You can see they are struggling. Kuna areas unaona incompatibility flani, but then they say, let's get a child, maybe things will get better. Many of them, the moment they get a child, they divorce. And then there's a child involved. And the child is very young. And the child ends up lacking the love of the other parent. Ideally, if maybe people were prepared properly before they get married, then when they get married, they may not need to take a long time because already they understand each other. Now, marriage has changed. During the older times, people used to get married for survival. when we talk to the older ladies and men, especially, let's talk about the ladies particularly, because many divorces are being initiated by women. You know that? Women who initiate the divorce many times, okay? For many reasons. Now, our mothers used to stay in marriage for survival, because they used to say, nikitoka nitaenda wapi? Hapa niko na shamba, siwezi rudi kwetu, pengine hana kazi. Hata kama akona kazi, the society was not very open to a woman moving and enda kununua shamba. Saa hii, the daughters we are raising don't think like that. They are already being married when they are in their own house. So they are not getting married for survival, okay? So if we understand that the motivation for marriage now has changed, so they will always walk out anytime. But then for me, I say it's important for people to understand that marriage is a commitment. And before you get married to somebody, at least take your time, understand them to some extent. Then if you agree on the time you're going to stay before you get a child, let it not be so long, and let it be something that you have agreed upon. That is what I can say. Yeah.
Syokimau East, on behalf, get my point, on behalf. Is it true that my wife is behind me here? Is it true that she's with me because of 1, 2, 3, but in mind she's not with me?
I don't think your wife is there, but I know many women who are like that. I know many women even in the church, and you can see some of them are looking on the side there because they are agreeing. There are many women who are there waiting for that right time when their child will go to university abroad, na wataenda na watarudi, wataenda one way. There are many men we have buried. Many men elders we have buried, their wives have not come to bury them. Wako ng'ambo na wameongea, wamesema sitaenda kumzika, nikienda nitaenda tu kuhakikisha ya kwamba kweli yako ndani na hajatoka. And then you ask them, how did you get here? They say, all along I've always known, because they have been very bitter. They never felt supported, but for many reasons they could not walk out. So walikuwa wanavumilia. So many, I don't want to scare you, and I don't think it's your wife, but there are many like that, I know. Yeah, I don't want to scare you.
Let me put it this way. You remember my opening words?
You said on behalf of Syokimau. Yeah, but I don't think it's Syokimau, but I know else.
Now, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Again, on behalf of Syokimau East, I wish you could have a session. Kama ananiacha saa hii. I'll tell you why. Kama aniacha nini? Because I'm now strong, I can be able to do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Instead of her, and I'm using my wife, instead of her leaving me, when maybe by God's grace I'll be in a certain age that I'm not able to do what I'm supposed to do. If it can be done now, the better. Instead of her being with me, but she's not with me in mind. Imagine, daktari, somebody brings you food, but she's waiting and she's asking God, when will this person go?
Exactly. I know, and you know, it's a very difficult conversation. Actually, I was in another church, na wakaniambia, men in their 40s, 50s, wakaniambia, maliza makambi tuende retreat. Tunataka kuombana msamaha, because zile dalili tumeanza kuona. You know why she will wait? I'm just speaking on behalf of other women. She will wait because you hurt her when she was down. When she was pregnant and breastfeeding, who couldn't support. She's also going to hurt you when you're down, when you have retired and you're sick, because you did it when she was down. Okay? So she's you hear what they're saying exactly. So she will also do it when you're down. Number 2, Sai, you are earning. You are walking on your feet, you can take care of yourself, you are earning. So you are not really such a burden. But when you become a burden and you didn't take care of me, I cannot take care of that burden. And that time watoto wangu watakuwa washatoka wameenda, mimi nitaenda nikiendanga na watoto, ubaki hapo. Guys, this is getting very disturbing. Tuache Unaona these are saying yes.
Daktari, do you now agree with me on psychological way of doing things? Then do you agree with me, and maybe ask the ladies here, women forgive, but they don't forget. Before even I could complete the statement, they have already finished. So then, if that is the case, please, Daktari, pray for this man. One time I was teaching somewhere, and I asked a question. Between a man and a woman, who knows the father of the baby?
It's a woman. It's a woman. Fatherhood is an opinion, motherhood is a fact. Fatherhood is an opinion, motherhood is a fact.
So tunalipa school fees ya watoto wa mwingine.
Na hata hiyo si mbaya sana. Hata hiyo si mbaya sana, because wale watoto wa mwingine hata ndio watakutunza. Sasa hao wame-ring bell. Lakini wacha okay. Let me allow him to say something.
The class is sweeter. Okay, Pastor.
Remember, as a pastor of this church, I open the words on behalf
Afo Syokimau. Tunakushika pastor.
I know it's as a pastor, I'm able to see the differences. So I'm not asking kindly that what pastor was asking is on behalf of us.
Tumekurada. Ni ukweli.
And because of that, I'm asking them, please consider the dialogue kuangalia sura.
Yeah, please. Wachana na hiyo. Tunasaidiana. Yeah, please go. We take that, the rest if you don't mind we can take tomorrow.
Asante sana. Wacha niingie kwa hiyo koti ya pastor ni kubwa sana on behalf. Okay. Kuna mali umesema ya kwamba watu wakiingia katika ndoa, they give themselves maybe a break of 1 to 2 years.
Maybe 6 months, whatever. For me, it took 9 months with my husband.
Mkijuana.
Yeah.
Now,
to enjoy. Sio sana sana. We needed to enjoy ourselves. Yeah.
I remember during our time, in fact, after 6 to 1 year, watu wanakuuliza kwani vipi, mbona tuoni watoto? And you see, we are taught from our youth until where we are ya kwamba children are given to us by God. Then when we want to now come into marriage, then I want to start planning on how God is going to give me a gift. Now, where is the spiritual part of that in family? Then, when it now comes that we've tried, because here they are youths, and maybe they are going to stay for 6 months or 1 year trying, and they see this thing is not working. Tayari ng'ombe imeshapelekwa. Now they are saying we want to divorce. What do the Bible teach us? That when you want to divorce, these are the things that may make you want divorce. Then lastly, as I sit down, do we now conform to the changes of the world, or we remain as Christians? Should we copy what the world is teaching? Because I'm seeing a bigger percentage of what is happening today in our marriages are coming from the world. But I grew up studying maybe from my parents and the church elders who nurtured me, and I was seeing them living with their wives. I admire that, but today what I'm seeing being taught maybe in our churches, I'm looking into my life in the next 30 to 20 years. How am I going to age? Because I'm seeing...
Okay, yeah. Let me help you. Divorce and marriage, we can talk about that later. But then what I want to say is that the world is dynamic. That is what we said, that men are looking for a woman who doesn't exist. So the world is dynamic. Ukibaki kule ni sawa, ukipata mwingine mtabaki na yeye ni sawa. But the challenge I'm seeing in the Adventist church, you have our young people wamebaki kule. The ladies have moved ahead. They are bitter. They are saying, how can I get a woman like my grandmother? She died. She's not there. And then the part of you stay. You don't have to stay. That was just advice. that if you want to get a child tomorrow, you can get pregnant, get a child overnight. There is no problem. Nobody will stop you. The point is, as long as both of you agree. And I was telling you from the side of the women that you will get your wife, she gets pregnant, she completely becomes another person. Then you begin feeling resentful, you begin saying, now I'm not getting attention, I'm not getting this, especially when you don't understand that it's because of the process of childbirth. No children are a heritage of the Lord. The fruit of the womb, his reward. So we can go ahead and get 15 and we live in a single room and we will be spiritual about it. So we live in a single room with 15 children. Some of us are very fertile. You know, I conceived my second born when my first born was 5 months. 5 months of exclusive breastfeeding, I conceived my second born. Thank God we had stayed for about a year before getting a child. The other one also came when I was still on contraceptives, okay? So the doctor told me, you're a case study. You can actually get up to 25. And I could get 25. Now, imagine I say I am receiving gifts from God. I get 25 children. Number 23 kills me. Because the baby also completely takes a toll on your health. Then you are living in a single room with your 15 children. You are exposing your children to sexual activity between you as the parents. Because some children are under the bed, some are over there. They get to 9 years, they begin masturbating. Because they are watching you having sex there. Where do you put your spirituality there? That's why God gave us a brain. And the scientists have been given knowledge and understanding and wisdom. So it's up to us as Christians to apply that knowledge, seek understanding, and also know that when it comes to family life, it is not uniform. So some people may take 6 months, some 9 months, some 2 years, some 0. But as long as the two of you agree. The problem is when you're not in agreement, one is resisting, pushing the one to have their way, then it doesn't work that way, okay? Now, let me say this. If people are going to divorce, whether they have a child or not, they will divorce. And because divorce is on foundations. What foundation did you set? They'll still divorce and it will be worse because now they already have children. Now, that thinking is dangerous. That ng'ombe zishalipwa. When mkisi, wesi mkisi. Wacha nikwambie, you are safe. Kwa Wakisii hakuna word like divorce. Ng'ombe zikishatolewa, even if I was to get married elsewhere, I'll always be ritengerio muntu. When I die, I'll be taken and buried there. That thinking has been so dangerous. Girls have been abused in their homes, but they have been told, ushanunua grave. So uko na kaburi kule, stay. They have been killed. So we know a choir member who was killed. Because right now, wapi na wapi. And they were going through abuse and they were told, ng'ombe zishatolewa. That's why some parents are refusing to take cows. I have a daughter. I will not take cows from anybody. Not because they can want to appreciate, but I don't want to take any cows because I have seen how that thinking of cows has ended up having people suffering. Not because I'm encouraging her to leave her marriage. No, it's because I am saying this is also somebody's son. Love each other, take care of each other. I am the one to even give them gifts so that I can bless them. They establish a strong foundation. So let's treat each other well. And then finally, let me say this. Many men who are seated who are married, I know if I asked you, you will tell me your marriage is okay. Sindio? Many men generally around midlife, they say their marriage is okay. Many women will tell you a different story. When people come for counseling sessions and you ask them, how is your marriage? You ask the man, rate your marriage out of 10. They tell me 8 out of 10. The wife seated there, I ask her, how is your marriage? 2 out of 10. The same couple, and both of them are valid, and they will tell you, she will tell you, when I gave birth, he came at midnight, akaniacha na mtoto, hata sikuwa na house girl, nikakuwa na njaa, nikashindwa kutoka kwa kitanda. Na huyo mtoto saa hii ndio ameenda Alliance, na ndio anaenda amevaa suti Alliance, ana brag na huyo mtoto. She will count and recount. Is it right or wrong? No, I'm just helping us. She will count and recount the historical injustices, and she tells you, nangoja tu huyu afike university. Ule last born akifika university wanafanya ile Adventist divorce, anahama Kenya. So unajua kuna many elders like that. Adventist divorce niyo, anaenda kama anaenda kuvisit mtoto ng'ambo, anaenda akiendanga na disappear. So what can I say we do now? What I can just say is that we need to be more kind to each other. Na kama kuna areas umeumizwa, I think it's easier to let go. And also wewe kama mzee, mama akikuambia kuna mahali ulimkosea, don't defend yourself. You can resist, you start defending, you start saying, unataka kuniambia na vile nimekujengea nyumba. No, don't defend yourself. Kubali makosa, omba msamaha, so that right now we can forgive each other, because I assure you, we can resist now when we are energetic. Payback time is coming. And I've seen it coming so many times until you feel so sad. You're like, this man is 75. He's alone. Na mama amekataa. Mzee anagonjeka, she doesn't come. Mzee anakufa. Imagine she does not even come to bury him because of that bitterness that she has been carrying. Okay? Even Christians, we are not immune. Let's just talk about it. Let's forgive each other and let's reconcile. And maybe that cannot happen here in church. We need to go for a retreat one day. Pale nje ndio tulie, tusameane. Kwa sahi unajua church, all of us are looking like we are righteous. But our heart, the heart of a woman is a graveyard. Whatever is dead in there, it will come out later. Okay, so, lakini anyway, just as pastor said, let me end up by saying, msiende mkiangaliana jioni hivyo. Don't go and ask, begin asking, wewe ulikuwa umeongelelewa hivyo. You are the one. She won't tell you. Yeah, but I think the best way is that what we can do, we can redeem the time. We still have time. We can forgive each other and, begin afresh. Okay, let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for what you have taught us today. Some of the things are very difficult to hear, but we ask for your forgiveness, Lord. The areas that we have hurt each other, bring it to our understanding so that we can ask for forgiveness. If there is any pain, any bitterness that some of us may be carrying towards our spouses, I pray that you may enable us to forgive and to let go. May you enable us to love one another and to be committed to the welfare of the families. Help us also to be good stewards for the children that you have given us. As we keep learning during this camp meeting, I ask that we may be transformed. May we not remain the same people that we came at the start of the camp meeting. Continue abiding with us, for it's in Jesus' name we have prayed and believed. Amen. That's why you need to get the book, the marriage they never told you about.